good morning, good morning. Famous last words. I am not going to use my machine in my book, my sewing machine. I'm gonna hand stitch. Well, after my last video about this little book, I created some more marks, just made more marks on cloth. I just dipped this into very, very dirty water, paint water that I cleaned my brushes on. So I dipped this in, so look at it, it's just off-white and more natural. So I got a couple of that, and I started to slow stitch. I put my signatures together. Remember, I made 3 signatures, 3 little books. I put them together, added in little pieces that I wanted, and then started to sew. First of all, it took me 10 minutes to get my yarn that is kind of thick into the needle. So that already made me a little bit fed up, can I say that? It was kind of late, let's say 9 o'clock in the evening. I was just excited to do this, but a little tired. So another thing is, when you're tired, don't do things that's difficult. You know, that is not the way to go, but I did. So I, at long last, got the yarn in the needle, and I tried to slow stitch a little piece onto a page. My needle was so, what do you call it? It wasn't sharp enough. So it was so blunt that I really struggled so much to just try and sew 2 pieces of cloth together. Now you must know this is acrylic paint, and some of them are quite thick on the cotton. So it was a challenge. And just there and then I decided, listen, stuff this, I'm gonna sew. So out came my little machine, and I first of all sewed the back of my signatures together. You know, the signatures are these little things that I put together. I think there was 4 or 5 together, little pieces in between. I fold them, and then I stitched there. So I measured out, had my ruler, little pencil, made a line, and then I sewed with my little love of my life, my sewing machine. I sewed the little book. That worked fantastic, even though they were quite thick. But my machine didn't worry, it did it. So I sewed my 3 signatures like that. Then I decided, oh well, I'm on a roll now, and I sewed them together. Now remember my books, my gratitude journals, these ones, and how I glued the signatures together. You need to glue. Let's say these are 2 of my signatures. This is a signature. It's now a little book. This is a signature. This is a little book. So what you now do is you put them together. And then the last page of this one and the first page of the other one, you sew together right next to the stitch that you can see. So, but I've showed that in my other videos, and you will many videos on YouTube of how to put a little book together. So I sewed everything. It was glorious. So once again, you do what you are led to do. Even if I said, how many times did we say, I'm never gonna do this? Oh my good, never use the word never, because I don't know, the life in you will just show you, listen, I'll show you, you'll do it. So never say never. So this is it. I put my 3 together. Then that was it. And then I thought, you know what now about a cover? I was on a roll, so I thought, now I'm gonna do the cover thing. So I found 2 of these beautiful jelly plate prints that I did on a thicker linen. Remember when I did the jelly plates, there was this table runner. It was this thick linen with these things on it that I used. So I thought, wow, I love this. I absolutely love these 2. So I sewed them together, and then I sewed them onto my then finished book. So all I did was the front page of the book. I just sewed it there, because that's the nicest thing with cloth. You can just sew it, you know. So I just made a stitch there on the front, and then I made the last page. I just stitched there. So there you can see the last page and the first page now have a cover, and I've got a beautiful little book. So what's very interesting, so that was late at night. I was tired. I was really a little bit fed up. I thought it was, this is just not working actually. I don't really like it. And I just left it, and guess what? This morning when I got into my room, I touched it, I saw it, I opened it, I went through it, and I just love it. I love the feel. I love the just different jelly plate prints, just different colors, but on the cloth, the beautiful linens and cottons, it just gives it such a beautiful feeling. So now, all I have to do now, and this is the nicest part to me, is to start adding things to make it pretty, to just do whatever I want. This is a project where you just go, I'll talk about this one now, where you just go and you sit and you watch TV, listen to music, sit in the sun. Like in the olden days when our parents, grandparents were knitting, they were just present, doing something. And now I'm on that stage where I can just have my bag filled with little cloths, and I can now just sit and slow stitch. Because this morning I actually thought, I'm just gonna stitch everything together. I'm just gonna stitch all my little cloths on it, and I'm now done with the slow stitching. And then I saw this one. I started slow stitching. This is the one that I started slow stitching. And then I gave up. And I got a new needle this morning. It's a little bit sharper, not the right one yet. I still struggle just to slow stitch this. So this is just a little pocket. But look how beautiful it looks on the cloth fabric. It just gives it another feel once again than the little machine. So I thought, well, I'm gonna use both. Why not use both? It's my project. I can do whatever I want, whatever blows my hair back, makes me feel happy, content, enjoy it. Creating is about enjoying the process. So why will I make it hard for myself and difficult? And there's enough challenges in life. Really, I don't have to make this a challenge as well. To create a little book from cloth is supposed to be one big joy. So I got back to that once again. Use what you have, create what you love, while loving doing it. It's about doing it. So I realized that, so I was just slow stitching this piece on. Love it. I don't know what I'm going to put in there, but that will come later. So now I can even, what I was definitely thinking of doing with this as well, is my, the pressing of the leaves, the flowers, where you just dip them in ink. You can either do the jelly, you can use the jelly plate, or you can just use an ordinary place where you just put some black ink, any kind of acrylic paint. You just press your flower, your leaf in it, and then you just press it onto your cloth. So I really want to do that. This is a jelly plate print. This is not one of them, but it's the same idea. You've seen me do it many times. I don't have one here now. So you just dip your leaf in black and you press it onto your thing. Just think how beautiful that will look. So this is I was too quick to create my little books, my signatures, so I didn't add the plain pages in. But I thought, I don't have to. I can now really just tear them into smaller pieces. And when I do this, I also don't measure. Some of them are going to be bigger, some of them are going to be smaller. So this is my little piece. Look how beautiful. It's just a little piece of cloth. I can go through my book, and this is once again how I do it. I go through my little book, and then I look and I see, where will I add a piece of white? And I slowly go through it, look at it, and let's say this is actually the front. I need to put something there because that print that was on it is not doing it with my jelly plate prints. So I can either put the big piece here with a print on. I can just add another piece of black cloth. Look at that. Just that white with the black in the middle, a smaller black one. Just look how beautiful that is. So now I need to find out what goes. So this is the wonderful part. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you think is beautiful. I saw something else that really spoke to me. It was one of these. I actually tore this one smaller, remember? I'm going to put 2 little circles there, and that is going to be a page in my book of 2 women. Just an abstract. I just see 2 women there, and that is it. I saw one of these. This is the one remember, I just made marks there. And all that I saw is, I'm going to tear this piece off. Just look how beautiful this is. So now I cannot remember what I actually love. As I was looking through my book, I was actually thinking, look there, just on that kind of white piece is the back of something. Just add that piece of black. It just brings out the darkness on this side, and I absolutely love to add black in my book. I think the black and the different marks that I made with the black and then when I start to do my black prints on that is what's gonna pull this little book together. That is how I am now feeling about this. I'm still not sure, because what I've seen in most of the other books people made is they use a double page, you know, so they work everything on one page and then it's double and then they add another one on, so you don't see the back of the stitches. But I don't want to do that. I don't know why, I just don't want to do it. As I said, with that other little one piece that I was working in my book, I love the back as well. So I'm not gonna be so, I don't care. That's what you see, that all of us, you need to learn, and I'm still learning it, to just go with the flow, to just do what makes you content, that you feel like doing when you create. It's not about what others do and how they did it. It's about how you want to do it. And that is why I had lots of, I don't know if you can call it issues, but when I was younger, I always did things differently. You know, when the teacher tells me to do it this way, I think, but that's not the best way for me. I want to do it that way. And then I got into trouble. The same with me and my mother. She had the way to make clothes. She did the most beautiful clothing, but she used the patterns. And that was the right way, and you do it that way or you don't do it. That is how I grew up. And that is why I did not enjoy creating when I was young, because I never did it good enough. You know what I mean? Even when I remember one time I had a boyfriend, I was in high school, let's say 16, 17, and he was coming to visit. And I wanted to make vetkoek. You know, that little dough that you put in oil and then you you fry it in oil, and then inside it you put either mince or syrup and cheese or whatever. I wanted to do that. So I started off, once again, doing it my way. And I remember my mother just came in and said, "Oh, really, you cannot do this. Let me do it." So she did it. She took over, made the most beautiful vetkoek, much more beautiful than mine, but she robbed me of doing it my way. And I remember how sad I felt, you know. So I grew up believing I cannot do anything because I couldn't do it perfectly. I didn't want to do it perfectly. It didn't come natural to me. It was a big effort, and I just didn't enjoy it. So now, and then afterwards, when I left house, and I always created, I asked my mom to show me how to sew, and usually she was too busy, because she was very busy. You know, a kid, I want to be helped now. So she wasn't available in that moment, so she said, I'll help you later. I became angry and upset, and I said, oh, well, I will teach myself. And I did. Wasn't that a good thing? So I taught myself. So for years and years, I did create. I had a children's clothing range, called it the Monster Club, when my kids were small, where I printed things on t-shirt, created some shorts and stuff in the range, but everything I used patterns. I did it the right way, you know. I made clothes for me. I made a leather jacket for my husband. I was really good. I could do it. I even used the Buddha patterns. Remember the Buddha? So it was this book that you buy, and then there were many patterns in, and you had to put this big sheet onto a brown paper or something, and then there was this little roller that you rolled your pattern. If your pattern was the one with the little dots, you roll on the dots, cut it out, your paper, and that was your pattern. So I did that. I did all of those. And then I just got fed up with it, and it was easier and much cheaper to buy clothes at one stage. So I thought, why make it if I can buy it? So I started buying my clothes and my kids' clothes. And then, I don't know, 30 years ago, no. It must be 20 years ago, when I was in my 40s, let's say late 40s. A friend of mine just decided, you know, we need some light summer dresses. Let's just create some. We didn't have a pattern, so we just started to cut a dress, cut the pattern from a dress that we had. Oh, it's hot here in this little room now. So we just started, and that's how I started on my creative journey. And I became more free. Every time I created something, I became more and more free. I tried the pattern things. I realized I'm not going to go that road. And even this top, now that I think about it, was one I created. Once again, you can see how easy it is. It's just like the kimonos I usually make. Just this V-neck, put a little piece of linen on. This is actually a very, very cheap linen that I bought a couple of years back. And I actually bought this because that was so beautiful. So I bought 1 meter or 2 meters of this braiding. And then I saw, oh, it's going to look beautiful with this flowery thing. Not really something that I would ever buy and wear, the pattern. But once again, I mixed it up, and now it's actually gorgeous. You can see there, it's also just a piece of linen that I worked in. It's fraying. Those pieces of linen, 2 different colors, they fraying. Just put 3 things on, buttons, and voila. So that is why my creative journey, how it started. It's only 20 years ago. And I am loving every moment. No patterns, no formal patterns, no wrongs. You cannot do wrong if you don't have a specific pattern. I mean, really. So I'm loving it. So that, back to my little book, that is exactly what I am experiencing now once again. Do what makes me happy, that I love doing. Make my book my way. If it's definitely, as I always laughingly say, it's not gonna win a prize in the neatest department, you know, but I love creating it. I love looking at it. I love just touching it, feeling it, working on it, added things, and just make it mine, you know? And that's why I say, I don't care. I don't know actually how I'm going to do it, but let's say I'm now going to add this piece of black. Yeah, I can stitch it. I can stitch it then I can, because there's an open space there, so if I'm going to stitch it there, oh, let me stitch it. Then we can see. So I had an overlocker, you know, the overlocker thing. I had the overlocker. I struggled so much to get it working properly every time. And that also became just a pain for me. Really just a pain. I'm going to just cut this, tear this the same length, because I don't want to cut, then it's too neat again. I don't want it too neat. I just want it fraying and loose and just beautiful. So I'm just stitching it on. There you can see there's a white piece that is there from the other jelly plate. So I am just going to stitch this one, ordinary stitch. Just gonna stitch it 2 long stitches, and then let's see how it looks on the other side. You know, so wherever I can, I think, wherever I can, and that it's actually going to look beautiful and not be a problem, is I'm just going to use my machine. Remember, I'm not going to wear the book and wash the book, and this is just a piece that I create to bring me joy. That's the only thing. I don't know what is the end result of this this little book is gonna be. I don't know where it's gonna go. If it's a present, if it's just mine, I don't know. But look at that. I now stitch that onto there. There's my other piece. Look how beautiful it looks when you open it up. There's my black piece. When I go around, that's great. I can tip there. What I've also realized is I can paint in this book. Why not? I can paint. I can make little marks. I can paint. I can glue. I'm gonna glue. I thought I'm not gonna glue, and then I thought, why not? Glue if you wanna glue. So I'm gonna glue. And I am just going to play. And remember, the more you create, the more the creative juices in you is going to flow. And that's why I said at first it was very, very scary when I started without a patterns, because that was natural to me as a child, but I've lost it because of life, you know. So I had to become free again, to just create, just do what I love. It's good enough. I create until I love it. Like with this top, you just start, and then you start sewing, and you add another thing, and you add another thing, and you make it shorter, and you make it longer, and whatever. You know how many times I've did it, and then actually, oh, now it's too short. Then I just add another piece, you know, just make that a feature, a feature, you know. So it's not the end of the world when you make a mistake. Just use that mistake as a feature. You know, this little black is now really, I need to get the ink out there so that it can close. It's not going to help just doing it like that, but it's I see it every time. So this is it. This is my little book. I think, oh, one of you, Lizette, she said, oh, can you imagine how beautiful a throw over your bed will look with these jelly plate prints. And she said, I think she said, the colors that I need, you can use and everything. And I saw it. When she described it, I saw it. I got extremely excited. So I think my next project is going to be a throw. But I don't want to make it too big. I don't want to have to cover the whole bed. Just a little throw. I don't know. And I know exactly how to do it. Because I previously did lots of things, and those things taught me what I like, gave me options now. So now I've got the cloth, I have it, I got it from someone, beautiful linen, thick cloth. It's kind of like this, the thickness of this. And I am gonna go and start doing some jelly plate prints. I don't know the color schemes yet, and then but I'll keep you posted. I'll show you every step. The only problem, no, not a problem, never a problem. The only challenge I now have is to wait until Tuesday, because it's long weekend. The art shops are closed, and I'm not gonna drive in today. So it's Saturday. I'm not going in today. It's long weekend. It's crazy in town. So I'm going to wait for Tuesday. But I want to use fabric paint because a throw is going to be washed. I most probably will use it in front of the TV on my couch. It's going to look beautiful there. So I'm going to incorporate those colors. So I need to do it the right way, the fabric paint way, that I will set with heat so that I can wash it and it's not gonna come out. Because the thing with this acrylics, they don't actually come out, but as soon as there's a little thick piece, it will eventually come off. So I just, if you do a big project like a throw, you don't want to use the wrong stuff. I mean, I've learned that because I just jump in and use what I have, and at the end I'm very sorry, because it would have been so much more precious if I used the right stuff. So with this, I think I'm gonna wait till Tuesday, but I cannot tell you if that's gonna be the case. But that it makes me excited. Once again, how do you know what to do? What makes you excited? What makes you feel alive, come alive, realize you are alive? That is the thing you need to do, because that is how the life in you, the abundant life, that is joy and peace and unconditional love and whatever, that is how it shows you which way to go. Always the way to abundance, abundant life. That is joy. Joy, it's a deep excitement, a joy. So when I read her comment, I got so excited. And I started thinking about it. And I realized I've got the fabric already. And I have the pattern in my head. Not this pattern, but how I need to do it. I already have all of those. All I need is some paint. So let's see, what makes you come alive? What makes you excited? When you hear something, what makes you excited? Go and do just that. That is your next step. And remember, I think yesterday, and I spoke to myself as well, we got to start enjoying the stepping stones. Everything in life is just a stepping stone. So the awesome thing about this little fabric book made of jelly plate prints is it's the stepping stone to my throw. Isn't it awesome? Now I know what I really like. I like the thicker, the jelly plate print on the thicker cloth. I cannot remember if this was wet, the cloth was wet, or if this cloth was dry. I think it was dry. I need to figure that out before I start with my throw. So I've learned so many things in this step. And how did I get here? By doing my gratitude journals. You know, so everything is a step. One thing leads to the next. But why do we rush the steps? We got to learn to start enjoying our stepping stones. And I am enjoying this little book. The minute it started to become too much for me, a burden, too hard, I realized, use the machine. You've got the machine. Why struggle, And look at me now. Now it's together. Now I can start to add the beautiful bits, make it come together. Voila. Love you lots, is it from Zetster's Lab. Thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing and commenting. I love it when you tell me what you're up to and what came to life for you. As I am talking, things come to life for me. I don't think before I come and sit down. I just come and sit and share. And then as I'm talking, lots of times, it's a light bulb moment when I hear myself say something. Because I just trust the life in me to speak through me and just speak to me. I always, when I write, I will also say, I am just talking to me. Just talking to me. Just writing to me. And that's what it's all about. It's just about the life in us, allowing the life in us to start flowing, because then it's what the magic is going to happen, is when the life in me, the life in you, it's the same life, is going to start to flow. Oh, I want to tell you this. I was sitting this morning outside, and the next minute Bella Blops, my Boston Terrier dog, she does this. She just came and she just touches me. She actually just stood up and the little head and feet were on my leg and she was just there. And I cannot tell you what happened to me. Immediately it brought me back to the moment, to the present. Just stopping my thoughts, just becoming present and just be. Just be with her. Just touch her. Just talk to her. Just being present with her in that moment. It was a magical moment. I just realized how we allow our minds to rush all around and think about this and this project and this and that. Nothing wrong, but just it's not here. And how she just came and just that one touch just brought me immediately into the present. This is what's happening. This is the life flowing now. The love in her was just flowing towards me. We were just one because I was present with her. And I thought we miss so many love when people come, when our loved ones come, and especially when we have little children as well. It's like a little dog and a little child. Just to be in the present with them, allowing the life in each other to just flow freely between us. Don't have to say anything. You just become present and you just enjoy that moment. It was magic. Let me tell you a simple thing like that. The moment I became present, I experienced full on the unconditional love that she has for me. That was there in that moment and that touched me deeply. Love you lots. Is it from Zetster's Lab?